So when you're learning to pass the open guard, often you're taught about what to do if your opponent's on his back. But when you start in a match, most of the time your opponent's going to be sitting up. And if you don't know what to do here, it can be really difficult because when your opponent's sitting up, they can make first grips and tie you up in a guard, making it hard to control the pace of the match. So this video, I'm going to go through 5 of my favorite ways to attack your opponent when they're sitting up. And remember guys, if you like the channel, the best way to help support is to like and leave a comment. Thanks a lot. Okay, so before we get into the attacks, the first thing is to understand the mechanics of the position when he's sitting up. 2 big things about when he's sitting up is it's much easier for him to make a grip when he's sitting up because his hands are active. He can make sleeve grips, collar grips, and things like that. One benefit I have though when I'm on top is that I can decide when the match starts. If I just want to make nothing happen and he tries to make grips, I can always back up and move around and decide when I actually engage. Another major thing to understand here is there's a big difference between the 2 main positions sitting up, which is when he is centered or when he has one hand on the floor. When he's centered, it's much easier to create drive pressure backwards by pushing the shoulders or the wrists, and he can fall back because he doesn't have anything on the floor to stop him from falling back. If he has one hand on the floor, even if I drive him here, he has that frame and it makes it hard to push him to the back. So here, sometimes going around and doing things like that can be an easier way to attack as well. But understanding the mechanics of you decide when the grip starts, and that center position is going to be the main key details to decide what attack you're going to do. So the first pass we're going to look at is using the underhook to hit the knee cut pass. So in this situation, we're going to do it when he's in a center position, and I'm going to be moving around grip fighting, and often his arms are going to start to come out to try to make grips. And what I want to look to do here is I'll usually knock the wrists out of the way, and I'm going to look to take a deep step with my right leg and try to catch that underhook here and pull this up tight. Once I catch this, I want to get tight and pull it high because now he cannot re-pummel this arm. If I'm a little bit loose, this arm will re-pummel and it can be tough, right? So I have to have this open a little bit here, sometimes even tap it across like that, and I catch this and pull up high. From here, there's basically no way for him to re-pummel this, and now I can go for the knee cut. So if you go around this side, what happens is now as I start to go for the knee cut pass, this gap is going to be open, he can't come back. I drop my knee here, slide through, and now there's different ways to finish. I'll pull the elbow up or cross face, get the shoulder blades flat, and finish the pass. So the next pass we're going to go for is going to be if our opponent is in the center. You can even go for this if he has a hand on the floor. So I'm going to be at distance, and then I'm going to make the first grip by going for the lapel. So once I go for the lapel, I want to stay really low because it creates a strong pull on his shoulder. If I'm here, it's a lot harder to have a strong pull force because it's up. When I'm here, I have a very strong pull and it keeps his shoulders forward, and we're going to use that for the pass later. So from here, the first attack, we're going to look to control this leg to try to do a Toriando or X-style pass. So the thing is, if I'm here and I go for a leg first, it's very risky because he can arm drag me and do different threats. If I get a lapel first, now if he stays sitting up and I grab here, he can't arm drag me because this arm pushing on his shoulder blocks that. So from here, I like to move to my right first, and then now I drive and push him down. He can have different responses, but it's very easy often to create the runaround. I can come into knee on belly or side control. The other big thing that'll happen in this sequence is I'll be here, I'm moving around, I catch the lapel and I go low. And now when I'm back, as I go for this, he looks for my sleeve and we're kind of doing this. So now he might try to fall back to go to his open guard, and I pull on this. And when I pull his shoulders up, it makes it hard to get his legs tight, and I can drop my shin in and go for a knee cut pass. So again, we're here. I want to go for the underhook, but his arms are tight, so it's hard. So I go here, I catch the lapel and I pull. Now I stay low, I catch this, I move to the side, run around, or he tries to pull. Here, I drop the shin in, keep my body inside this thigh to create kind of like a wishbone effect on his hips. Catch the arm or the sleeve, pull, and slide through and pass. So the next one is very similar to the first one, but instead we're gonna grab the lapel with the opposite arm. So if I'm neutral, that's basically the same, but if I'm right leg leading, I'm grabbing with my back arm. So what's gonna happen here is we're moving around, I'm gonna catch this lapel here, and now again, I wanna keep this tight so it's hard for him to move. People will have different responses here. Realistically, here I can grab this pant leg and still do the same kind of stuff we did on the other one. When this is gonna get different is gonna be when he pulls. So here, often people will grab this lapel and he's gonna fall and try to put this foot on the hip, and I wanna catch this other leg, right? I wanna catch this as he drops, especially if I have the pant leg, because now he can't lift this leg back up. From here I move, and now with this down, it's easy to jump around and pass to the other side. So we're like this, I get the lapel, and see as he falls back, I stay low, and I catch here. Here, if I have the ankle, I'm just gonna push it in, and I hop around here, and try to come in for the pass. So the fourth one is going to be just trying to drive our opponent to his back to continue passing with him on the floor. So in this case, what happens, we're moving around, and maybe I try the underhook, the lapel stuff. What I like to do, you can push the shoulders, but often people will make a grip when you push the shoulders. So what I like to do is get low and catch their wrists like this, and I drive their wrists to their chest, and I push really hard forward, and that creates a drive back. Once I get him to the floor, now I can start trying to pass with toriandos or different knee cut threats and things like that with my opponent on their floor, which is a whole separate skill set, but it's a lot easier to build when they're on the floor. So again, he's sitting up, we're moving around, he's following, try an underhook, he goes for a grip, I break it, right, and I drive there, push him down, and now I can start finishing passes from there. All right, so the final threat from here is going to be running to the back directly or snapping him down to work around. This will either give you the back or force him to fall to his back. We can do this in both situations, hands up in the center or one hand on the floor. So if he's got one hand on the floor, we'll put that one down. Yeah, so he's here like this. So a lot of times what I'll look to do is to catch a wrist and like a grip behind the tricep, or both if I can, like this. And I'm going to grab here, I'm going to snap and take a quick step around like this. From here, it's very hard for him to turn back in because I've already crowded him out. The only way for him to prevent, once I'm around here, me coming directly to the back, is to fall all the way to the floor. And again, we get positions where he's now on his back and we can start toriandoing or whatever we want to do, right? So again, we're here like this, I'm moving around and I start doing that threat. He falls to his back, now we're here, and then I can start building different pass sequences from there. Another version of this is if he's sitting up and he's leaning so far forward, I can't drive him back, I can't get the underhook. Sometimes getting an over back grip like this or on the sleeve and snapping his head down puts so much weight on his feet here that he can't lift his legs. And now I can use this to start running around to try to go to the back. Again, realistically, most of the time when you try this, they're gonna start falling back, right? So again, we're here, I look for the underhook, he's moving around, right? Maybe he's leaning too far forward. Right, I get this and I snap him down, step around, try to persist to the back, take the back if I can. If he falls back down, here, now we're starting to toriando. All right guys, so let me know if there's any positions you're struggling with when you're trying to pass an opponent sitting up as reference for future videos. And as always, if you guys like the content, like, share, subscribe. Thanks a lot.